since the Great Depression, due to record numbers of bank failures and consolidations. 10 years later, researchers at the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, updated the Brookings study to cover thrift institutions and commercial banks for the period from end 1984 through 2003. One of the main findings was that forces driving the wave of mergers had changed over time. During the 1980s, banks struggled in a turbulent economic environment, and they sought to expand their geographic footprint in retail banking as regulatory barriers came down. By comparison, the mid to late 1990s was more profitable for financial institutions, and many used their rising share prices to purchase other institutions, including non-banks, as Glass-Steagall prohibitions were relaxed. Throughout this period, there was an extensive debate among economists and policymakers about whether the growing concentration of assets by the largest institutions was desirable. The prevailing view was the U.S. banking system was too fragmented and inefficient, and that consolidation would lead to a more efficient system. However, the evidence from empirical studies was mixed, and several studies sought to examine the impact on lending to individuals and small businesses. In the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis, the debate has centered on whether the largest institutions have become too big to fail, and whether they should be broken up. So, where does Morgan fit into this picture? My answer is that Morgan stood out as the only financial institution to become a universal bank entirely on its own. In doing so, it sought to maintain its culture and to serve its corporate customers as a fiduciary, rather than become a financial supermarket that was bigger and more complex. While Morgan ultimately fell short of the goal of remaining independent, it did not require federal assistance at any point. The reasons? It had a solid balance sheet, was adept at handling market volatility, and was prudently managed. These characteristics would serve the merged bank well during and after the 2008 crisis, when it attracted massive deposits and assets from individuals and corporations seeking a safe haven. In the end, the foundation was laid for JPMorgan Chase to emerge as the world's preeminent financial institution under Jamie Dimon, who successfully integrated wholesale, retail, and investment banking. In this regard, Dimon and his team have been able to accomplish what others in the banking industry strived for but fell short. Still, while Morgan alums today are proud of the firm's revival, many cling to the days when Morgan was Morgan and had a unique culture they cherished. This book is organized in 4 parts. The first part, Glory Days, presents a first-hand account of what Morgan was like in the late 1970s, as well as the developing country debt crisis in 1982 that disrupted Morgan's business model. The second, Formulating the Plan, depicts the strategy that was developed in the second half of the 1980s to transform Morgan into a universal bank with investment banking and securities capabilities. The third, Executing the Plan, describes the successes and challenges implementing the strategic plan in the first half of the 1990s. The fourth, Playing Defense, depicts the events leading to Morgan being acquired by Chase. The final chapter focuses on the issue of why Morgan matters and Morgan's revival under Jamie Dimon. This book is a personal account of what occurred while I worked at Morgan on 2 separate occasions. 1978 through 83, when it became embroiled in the less developed country debt crisis, and 1995 through mid-2003, when it merged with Chase. In the interim, I observed Morgan's transformation as a competitor and client at Salomon Brothers and Prudential Insurance. In writing this book, I interviewed former colleagues and senior executives.